the various lokas, the various parallel dimensions, is not something like said in a sci-fi movie or is not fiction, but in our real life, we can experience those lokas, we can experience those places, we can exist and even bring things from the parallel universes. So, that is another beautiful concept where literally we are expanding into a higher version of our own selves, where we literally, when the Supreme Body of Hinduism has earlier shared, that you exist in 14 lokas and you have the power to travel across the lokas. Let's say you had a fight with your friend or you had a fight with your family. All that starts becoming redundant as you start feeling that you are Paramashiva, you start feeling you are divine, which totally removes all the normal humanly plain problems, the day-to-day problems that we had, and brings a higher inner image in all of us where we can operate from a space of Paramashivoham, I am Paramashiva, rather than the current inner image we have that I am this, this, and this. So that is another beautiful aspect of the Paramashivam program. The next aspect is the power manifestation. As many of you know, Paramashiva in the Vedas and Agamas has given more than 463 powers, where Paramashiva explains the technique, the procedure on how even we can manifest those 463 powers. So many of you would have seen of course, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been manifesting powers literally from the age of 3, and all of you would have even seen the initiated disciples, the Balasants of Nithyananda Gurukul manifesting the powers. Even earlier, the first session of the Parashakti AKASHIC readings, we had the demonstration of the power of body scanning. And if you want to manifest such powers, if you want to explore your higher possibility, Paramashiva Home is the right avenue for you to go and manifest the higher possibilities of yourself and even come to know of what you are capable of. As the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has many times shared that this human body that we are carrying is the tool given by Bhagavan Paramashiva to attain enlightenment. Of course, you can attain enlightenment in other bodies, but the human body is the most capable body of attaining the liberation and enlightenment and exploring all these possibilities. So, when Bhagavan Paramashiva has given us this wonderful chance, let us begin utilizing it by exploring the dimensions and getting initiated into the being, the state space powers, and being and super consciousness of Paramashiva.
Yes, and also another thing that I'd like to share with every one of you is that if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, if you need any help with respect to anything, you can reach out to all of us. You can put down your questions. It can be in the live chat, or it can be you can reach out to your local zone coordinators, to your HRs, and reach out to every one of them. All of us are here available to help and to make this Paramashivoham as a reality for every one of you. Now, in the next segment of this Bhava Samadhi Darshan, we're going to be looking at some of the various insights that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given from the previous webinars and look at how we can utilize them in our life to make Paramashivoham a reality. Please stay tuned as we come back after a short break.
The moment you decide, your consciousness is the supreme identity you have. You will not empower your depression, your frustration, deal your problems, whether it is simple headache or depression, or the worst suicidal patterns, or life negativity, only through consciousness. Don't go for any other solution. don't keep stupid, toxic, life negative struggles inside. Your consciousness has power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins. Develop a powerful will persistence. That's the most important asset for life. I am not giving you some life positive blah blah. I am giving you the facts of life. I am triggering your consciousness. Itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. I am your Guru. I will make you enlightened. It's my commitment. Till you become Paramashiva, I won't rest. Don't worry at all. my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. Greater signs of life can be realized with a greater ability to visualize. Greater science is the equivalent word for Hinduism. When you understand the greater science of life, greater courage, more possibility, more fearlessness, more joy, more bliss. When you visualize Paramashiva with 25 heads, 75 eyes, 50 hands, your consciousness becomes ferocious, and that ability to visualize, you will get involved in everything deeply. Involved people are the most delicious, most beautiful, most juiciest beings of planet Earth.
Nithyanam, everybody, welcome back. Let us now look at how we can make and manifest Parameshvoham as a reality in each and every one of our life. We have many people sending in messages that they have different reasons why and what they think as obstacles for manifesting Parameshvoham in their life. This segment we are going to see how we can manifest Parameshvoham as reality in our life as we are preparing ourselves to receive the initiation from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let us now look at a beautiful webinar. Some of the glimpses and excerpts from the previous webinar on Decode the Time and Space that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has blessed us all with. And let us see how, using the truths that Swamiji has revealed in that, using the initiations, how we can make Parameshvoham as a reality in our life. Let us now look at a few glimpses from the initiation and from the previous webinar on decoding time and space.
Om Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambam Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome all of you with my love and respect. Paramashiva's message. Flee from Mahakailasa. Listen. time in its three dimensions: linear, circular, vertical. Time in its three dimensions: linear, circular, vertical. When it is understood, mere understanding and conscious decision to use it is enough to get all the boons, blessings, powers, including enlightenment from Paramashiva. All the disciples, get ready, sit sincerely with absolute integrity. Now the initiation starts. Every word now comes out is direct initiation. Listen. Time in the linear level, when you understand the time in linear motion level, with your ideas about length, it is a calendar. Morning, evening, next day, next week, next month, past week, past month. Just calendar, mere calendar. Time understood in the dimension of length is mere calendar. It can be 10,000 years past, 10,000 years future. Mere calendar used to document the history. That's all. Time understood in the level of breadth, little more than the level of length, in the level of breadth, is Panchanga, where the idea of the linear movement of the time, the documentation of the calendar is substantiated and supported with the knowledge of how the stars move in the Bhumandala, or how the stars are perceived in Bhumandala. That is the understanding about time in the breadth level. Understanding about time in the depth level is astrology. The movements of the planets, Adityadi Navagraha Devatas, Aditya, Soma, Mangala, Buddha, Guru, Shugra, Shani, Rahu, Ketu. These 9 grahas, their movements, 12 rashis, their impact, 28 nakshatras, their influence, and Indradi Dasadik Balakas, their contribution. All these put together When you understand time, it is understanding about the time in the depth level that becomes a science called astrology. If you understand the time in the dimension of time itself, like inner image of the time, it's a pure consciousness and freedom. What Paramashiva reveals in Vedas and Vedantic truths. Please understand. Veda and Vedanta, Agama and Agamanta, all four is evolved by Paramashiva himself directly. In the Vedantic Upanishads, Paramashiva gives clearly the inner image about the time, what time feels about itself is absolute freedom. All human beings should take me seriously. All my disciples should take me seriously. Note this point. If you spend few days without cell phone, any contact with the outer world, where you are all alone, you only know the sound of the silence and the nature. At least few days. It can be a week or a month, up to you. At least few days if you spend, time will introduce itself to you. In the dimension of time itself, anyone who gets introduced about time by time, you are blessed and initiated into the other dimension of life. Listen. How much ever I try to convey, time in its inner image is the freedom. You may try to imagine, visualize. But if you spend few days with the absolute silence of the nature, nature's sounds speak to you. There is no other verbalization from the society. At least for a few days, you understand that time is freedom. Let me repeat. Time perceived, experienced, cognized just in the level of length is calendar. Time perceived, experienced, cognized in the dimension of breath is panchanka. Calendar substantiated with the cosmic movements of stars, grahas. Time perceived and understood, cognized in the dimension of depth is astrology, all the impact on time and by time on you, all the impact time receives from the cosmos, its impact on you. Understanding this whole depth is astrology. Adityadi Navagraha Devata, 12 Rashis, 28 Nakshatras, Dashadik Balakas, their collective influence on you is understanding of time in the depth level. Time understood in the level of time dimension itself, freedom. I will make this knowledge as a practical experience for you. Listen to me intensely. Listen to it intensely. I can introduce time in its inner image inside you through unclutching. I can make you experience the sound of cosmic silence. Anahada Dwani. Inside you by unclutching you. Especially my disciples who have given the spiritual GPA to me. I have the moral and conscious right to enter into your inner space and unclutch you. Whoever gives me that right, I will initiate you now, right now, and lead you step by step into the next level understanding. Next, circular experience of time. This is the arch Prabhavali of Mahakala Bhairava. Listen. In this motion, in this movement, memories, patterns, ideas, experiences, perceptions, cognitions, incidents go on repeating, including life and death. Just a repetition, 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 repetition. This repetitive pattern, circular motion of the time should be pushed behind you. Push it behind you. Do not engage with it. Do not try to correct the incidents. The more you try to correct, you will get sucked into it. How Mahakala Bhairava puts the circular motion of the time behind him. Push it behind you. Third, vertical time. The vertical time is experienced in your life only when you are in intense samadhi state. Normally, for a common man, when he is in really in a absolute oneness, either during the initiation with Paramashiva or during the puja with the deity, or rarely during the sensual pleasures. If you listen to some music deeply, which you really enjoy, few moments you experience vertical time. If you eat some food after a long time, which you really enjoy, for a few minutes you settle down and experience vertical time. If you had a deep touch pleasure experience, it can be sexual or massage or romance, anything related. Deeply when you settle down inside, few seconds you experience vertical time. Either during the initiation or the extreme moments of pleasure, you get the glimpse of vertical time. If you get it during the initiation, it will be repeating again and again and raising you to the higher zones without tiring your body and mind. You will raise your consciousness more and more, stronger and stronger, powerful. With sensory pleasures, because the senses and its abilities are limited, the travel in the vertical time zone is restricted by the capacity of your body. That is why going through the route of the sense, 5 senses, pleasures, is less recommended. Going through the route of initiation, getting empowered by samadhi state, nirvikalpa samadhi state, is the most beautiful way of raising yourself to the vertical time zone. Listen. Time perceived in the length dimension level is calendar, chronological time. Few million years in the past and few million years in the future. Just chronological calendar. Time perceived and cognized in the breath dimension is chronological calendar supported, substantiated by the cosmological events, like the movements of the stars, planets, all that. Time perceived, the dimension of depth is astrology. How? The cosmological events and movements of grahas, rashis, nakshatras, and digbalakas directly impact time, and how that time impacted by the cosmological beings impact you. This science is astrology. If you want time's self-introduction, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, unclutching, is the best state where time introduces itself to you. An absolute freedom. Then comes circular time, circular motion, circular dimension of time. Repetitive births and deaths. Trillions of times goes on and on and on till your consciousness consciously decides to step out of time from that circular rut. When you push that circular dimension of the time behind you, you manifest the powers, you conquer time. Time becomes just maybe I should say your servant. It does what you want. It does not bind you anymore. And time in the vertical zone can get anything your consciousness wants, including enlightenment. That is the ultimate. Time in the vertical zone is the Trishul Mahakala Bhairava is carrying. Time in the circular movement is the Prabhavali behind Mahakala Bhairava. Push the circular time behind you. Keep the vertical time for your success in everything. I'll empower you with the time as power. Vertical time. As far as the experience of time, cognition of time, the moment you understand its various existence, its various dimensions of existence, its various levels of existence, knowledge liberates. Knowledge becomes power. Krishna knows the impact of planets on the Mahabharata war. That knowledge, simple knowledge, he played with it and changed even the impact of the planets and made Pandavas one. On Amavasya, if the war starts, only Kauravas will win. But already both sides agreed on Amavasya they will start the war. So what to do? One day ahead of Amavasya, Krishna gives Darpana. Sun and the moon both got terrorized, frightened. Hey, how can Krishna give Darpana one day before the Amavasya? Is something wrong? I think somebody gave false information to Krishna. He need to be told that Amavasya is tomorrow. So both of them rush to Krishna. Before Krishna offers the pinda, they rush and tell him, Prabhu, you forgot Amavasya is tomorrow, but you are giving pinda darpana today. Did anyone misinform you? Krishna smiles and says, what is the definition of Amavasya? Sun and the moon said, when sun and the moon meets, planet Earth. Both of you are here. Today is Amavasya. Done. Go. Receive the darpana. Over. The knowledge he had about the time in the depth dimension, he just manipulated it. He wants. Listen. I'll give you the knowledge about the time in the dimension of time. It means you will be protected forever beyond your self-doubts, self-denial. Understand? Beyond your self-doubts, self-hatred, self-protected. That is the power of the time. When you understand time in its time dimension itself,